I almost lost my cat forever. And it all started with something that cost less than a cup of coffee. $5. That is what nearly cost me my best friend. Let me take you back to last Tuesday. It was a normal evening. My cat, Milo, was curled up on his favorite spot by the window. I was scrolling through my phone, bored. You know how it is. You see those cheap little gadgets online and you think, why not? I found this tiny breakaway collar. It was bright red, very stylish, and it was only $5. I clicked buy without a second thought. That was my first mistake. When it arrived, I was excited. Milo looked handsome. I put it on him, tightened it just a little so it wouldn't fall off, and went about my day. I remember thinking, what could possibly go wrong? It's just a collar, a cheap collar. But here is the shocking truth. Cheap pet accessories are not regulated. They are not tested the way you think they are. Most of them are designed to look good, not to keep your pet safe. That night, I heard a crash in the kitchen. Milo had knocked over a glass. I went to check on him, and he seemed fine. A little startled, but fine. I patted his head and went back to bed. I didn't notice the collar was slightly loose. I didn't notice the clasp was already weakening. That cheap plastic buckle was failing, and I had no idea. The next morning, I woke up and called for him. Nothing. I shook his treat bag. Nothing. A cold feeling started to creep into my stomach. Milo always comes for treats. Always. I started searching the house. Under the bed, behind the couch, inside the closets, every single spot he usually hides. He was gone. My heart started racing. I ran to the front door. It was locked. That meant he didn't get outside, right? I started to panic. I checked the windows. All closed. I called my neighbor. She hadn't seen him. I started searching the house again, more frantically this time. I was pulling out drawers, looking in the dishwasher, and I even checked the dryer. Nothing. 2 hours passed. I was crying. I felt like the worst cat parent in the world. I started posting on local lost pet groups. I printed out flyers. My hands were shaking. I was imagining the worst. My $5 decision was now costing me my sanity. I looked everywhere except one place. You know how cats love small, tight spaces. They love the feeling of being hidden. It makes them feel safe. But this time, that instinct almost killed him. I was sitting on the floor, completely defeated. I was about to call the animal shelter. And that is when I heard it. A tiny, muffled meow. It was so faint, I almost missed it. I froze. I listened again. The sound came from behind the bookshelf, but there was no gap there. I pushed the heavy shelf away from the wall, and there he was. Milo was stuck behind the shelf. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was his collar. The cheap $5 buckle had gotten caught on a small nail sticking out of the wall. He was trapped. He couldn't move forward. He couldn't move backward. He had been stuck there for over 12 hours. He was exhausted. He was dehydrated. And he was terrified. I grabbed him and held him tight. I was crying. He was shaking. That cheap little collar almost strangled him. If I had left for work that day, I would have come home to a dead cat, all because of $5. You might not realize this, but breakaway collars are supposed to snap open when they get caught. That is how they save lives. But cheap ones? The plastic is too rigid. The spring inside is too weak. They don't break away. They just get tighter. A pet expert once told me that 40% of collar-related injuries come from these bargain bin accessories. It is a terrifying statistic. So, what did I do? I threw that red collar in the trash immediately. I went to a real pet store and bought a high-quality safety collar. It cost me $25. It was 5 times the price. But honestly, it was a bargain compared to my cat's life. This experience taught me a hard lesson. We always think about food quality and vet bills, but we forget about the small things. The leash we walk our dog on, the toy we throw for our cat, the bowl they eat out of. If it touches your pet's body, do not buy it cheap, ever. Today, Milo is healthy. He is sitting right next to me as I record this. He is purring. He doesn't remember that scary night, but I do. I will never forget the sound of his tiny meow from behind that shelf. That sound saved his life. If you love your pet, please check their collar right now. Please feel it, squeeze the buckle, make sure it snaps open easily. If it doesn't, throw it away. Here is what I want you to do next. Go to the comments and tell me something. Have you ever bought a cheap pet product that turned out to be dangerous? Share your story. It might save someone else's pet. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button. I'm creating this community to keep our fur babies safe. We learn from each other. We warn each other. So, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and make sure you never miss a life-saving tip. Because your pet is priceless, and their safety should never depend on a $5 mistake. I pulled Milo out from behind that bookshelf and just held him. I didn't let go for a long time. He was weak. His little body was trembling against my chest. I gave him fresh water, and he drank like he had been in a desert. That image is burned into my brain forever, all because of a $5 collar I bought online without thinking. But here is the part that still haunts me. When I examined that collar closely, I realized something terrifying. The breakaway mechanism was completely fake. It looked real, but it wasn't. It was just a cheap plastic gimmick. There was no spring, no safety release. It was designed to look safe, not to be safe. And that is the truth about most budget pet products. They are built for the shelf, not for survival. I started researching after that night. What I found shocked me. Thousands of pet owners share the same nightmare stories online. Collars that get stuck on fences, leashes that snap during walks, toys that break into sharp pieces. And the common thread? They were all cheap. They were all under $10. We think we are saving money, but we are actually gambling with our pet's life. Let me ask you something. Would you buy a car seat for your child from a discount bin? Of course not. Then why do we do it for our pets? We love them just as much. They are family, and they trust us completely. They don't know that the collar around their neck is defective. They don't know that the toy in their mouth could choke them. That is our job. We are their protectors. So, I made a promise to myself that night. I will never buy another pet product without checking the reviews, without testing the safety features, without asking myself one simple question: could this hurt my cat? If the answer is even maybe, I put it back. No exceptions. And honestly, that $5 mistake changed me in another way too. It made me slower, more present. I used to rush through my day, buying things carelessly, not paying attention to the little details. Now I check everything. The quality of the food, the strength of the leash, the stitching on the bed. It is not about being paranoid. It is about being responsible. Milo is curled up next to me right now, purring loudly. He has no idea how close he came to the end, but I know. And that knowledge is heavy, but it is also a gift, because now I can warn you. Now, I can save you from making the same stupid mistake I made. Please, do not wait for a tragedy to wake you up. Check your pet's collar today. Squeeze it. Tug it. If it doesn't snap open with gentle pressure, get rid of it. Do it now, not tomorrow. Tomorrow might be too late. And while you are at it, check your leash. Check your harness. Check their toys. Look for loose parts. Look for worn-out edges. Your pet's life depends on these small checks. It only takes 1 minute. That 1 minute could be the difference between a happy ending and a heartbreaking one. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a close call with a pet product? Tell me your story in the comments. Let's build a community that looks out for each other. Share this video with a fellow pet owner. Tag them. Make sure they see this. It might just save their furry friend's life. And finally, if you want to keep learning how to protect your pets, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video. I create content for people who love their animals the way I love Milo, with everything they have. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for caring. And please, never underestimate the danger of a $5 mistake. It almost cost me everything. I don't want it to cost you anything. Take care of your fur baby. They are worth so much more than a cheap price tag. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay smart, and hug your pets a little tighter tonight.